And you have had, and this is why I wanted to talk to you, because you have had a journey and a story where you had to listen and master the whisper.
Yeah.
Here you are, the chief operating officer of a major bank, right? You're a banker, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming being a banker, you weren't broke like me.
It has its advantages. How about that?
Right, it has its advantages. But here's the thing that makes you so fascinating to me. It's a terrible thing to be successful at something you're not supposed to do. And here you are having success, climbing the ladder, doing well. And then you discover there's another calling to your life.
Yes.
Tell me about that. Talk to me.
It was, I love the way God works, because I always knew when I turned 50 that I was going to make this move. And everyone would always tell me I was crazy. Like, why would you give up this career? Why would you walk away and start over? But that didn't bother me, because that's how I got there, And it was the willingness to take assignments that no one else would take is what got me noticed and continually gave me those opportunities. And every assignment I had to reinvent myself. So when calling came, I understood not only that I have this amazing background in finance and understanding deals and how to structure and debt and do all of these things, do contracts and negotiations and pitches and sat on boards and traveled, all over the country representing my company. I also was not afraid to reinvent myself. And
I love that. I absolutely love it, because I think greatness is the willingness to look like a fool.
Yes. And start all over. Yeah. Leave it all behind.
leave it all behind. And you did that because you left Oklahoma, moved to LA. And what's interesting about that, I've had people in my life, I'm sure you've had people in yours, they moved from Chicago to Atlanta, or they moved from New York to LA, thinking that the geography will give them a better life. Only to discover that if you are an idiot in Chicago, you'll be an idiot in LA.
It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work either way, right?
What I'm wondering tonight is, what did you have to summon? More importantly, what did you have to embody when you left Oklahoma and stepped into LA? You were not the same person.
No, and it's funny in that when my husband and I sat down and we knew this was it. We were like face to face with, I knew if I didn't do it in that moment, we were never going to do it. It was like God was saying, you're going to have to just totally trust me. I'm not giving you anything. And I knew when we sat down and we prayed about that thing together that I had to just trust that God was going to have me hanging so far outside my comfort zone. And I just had to be okay with it in that moment. Yeah. And so my husband and I got together, we prayed, and I knew that I wanted to transition because that's what God had put on my heart. We have just one son who lives in LA. So he kept saying, come out here, come out here. And my husband said, you know what, I'll put in for a corporate transfer. And he's like, oh, it's going to take us a year. It's just, we don't have a lot of openings. And 2 weeks later, my husband came home and said, I want you to read this email. And the email said, we have a job in LA. Do you want it? And we just both looked at one another. And I tears started just rolling down my face because I was hearing him talk about this year journey, and it was so funny in that he looked at me, he goes, what do we do? And I said, what do you mean, what do we do? You just said we had to trust God. He's like, but I didn't expect for him to move like that.
Hey, Paula, the proverbial dog that was chasing the fire truck caught the fire truck. It didn't know what to do with it.
I mean, we were just 2 weeks later.
Yeah, I am a firm believer. I don't know where the quote comes from, but I'm a firm believer in the saying that when you step out to do something on faith, you want to do it, the entire universe conspires.
Yes.
pull it
The
off.
Alchemist. That is The Alchemist.
The Alchemist. Thank you. And so that. Yeah. No. Say more about that.
Yes. Yes. I love the journey of Santiago because he goes around, right, and he's just looking and he's just in search of this thing. And it, ultimately in the end, if you've read the book, you know that he finds it right where he started, right? Because the whole idea of that is purpose is already in you.
How does that relate to you and your journey? Because you left Oklahoma, moved to LA, and in what ways did you discover that it was already there?
I always had this love and passion for empowering and encouraging women. And I tried to do that, throughout my career. And God gave me that opportunity full circle after I'd spent some time just sitting with him. Because when I first moved here, I took the first year, my son travels a lot. So I traveled with him and just kind of hung out. And then I decided, he kept telling me, oh, go to school. Why don't you get into producing and we could do some projects together. And so I was like, okay, so, I started going back to school because having that knowledge gain is so important. It really didn't matter that I was COO there. I was starting from the bottom here. So the first thing I did was I went back to school and started getting that knowledge and knowledge gain and taking as many workshops as I could. I went to UCLA and studied directing. I went to NIFA in New York and here in LA, studied directing and producing. I even bartered my services. I was like, if you give me all access on your set, because I have an accounting degree, I'll do your accounting, but I want to be in all your producers' meetings and do all these things. And I was so grateful that in this full circle, the thing that I get to do is still encourage and empower women.
Yeah,
it's now from a whole different perspective.
Right. I was just going to say, it's just that you do it now in a different way, using different tools and different venues. That's what you discovered. You discover, this is what I hear you saying. You discovered that the mission, the ministry, the calling, the anointing, as it were, it doesn't change. The manifestation may change. The season and the timing may change, but what you were born to do, that remains true from your first breath to your last breath. And if here, I throw my shoe at you.
It's all throughout the Bible, right? It's, the very thing that you're called to do in the kingdom, for the kingdom, is the very thing that you were doing in the earth. Then God moves you and cocoons you and then transforms you into doing that thing for the kingdom, right? We saw it with Moses, we saw it with Noah, we saw it with David, we saw it with Joseph, we saw it with Esther, we saw it with Jesus, right? The thing that they were walking and doing in the earth, they then got removed and cocooned, which transfers, with the transforming of the heart, so that you see the perspective for the kingdom. And then you can go, and now I get to create this amazing content to inspire and tell these stories about women. But yet I get to do it and uplift the thing that I love the most. And that's my love for God.
And one of the things that's amazing about what you just said is that a lot of people think that the skills you learn in one stage of your life don't always apply to another. And I believe that it's all connected, and that this goes with that. That there's a reason why you've had to spend 10 years here and 5 years there, 15 years there, because at some point you're going to need that to do the thing that you most want to do.